Hello students, today we are going to start a new chapter. In the last video we have completed the animal kingdom. So the next chapter in your NCERT book is structural organization in animal. So in this chapter, structural organization in animal, we have two parts. One, this is animal tissue, and second part we have in the structural organization is animal morphology. Okay, so we have two parts here, animal tissue and animal morphology. Under the animal tissue we have to study four parts, four different type of tissue, basically in relation to human being. They are epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and neural tissue. Next part, where we have to study the animal morphology, we have three organisms to study. The arthworm, where it belongs to the phylum Annelida. Second organism we have to study is cockroach, which is coming under the phylum Arthropoda. And the third organism we have to study here is the frog, which is coming under the class Amphibia. Okay, so there are three types of organism we have to study in the animal morphology part, and in the animal tissue part we have to study the four different type of tissues. These are the epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and neural tissue. Okay, so in this part, first of all we will study the first part, that is animal tissue, and later on we will move to the next part, that is animal morphology. Okay, so from here the questions that will come from the animal tissue, if it comes to your boards, then 2-3 questions from the animal tissue and one long question can come from the animal morphology. And if it comes to need point of view, then the part that is animal tissue, from where the locations basically can come, from the connective tissue different types, or from muscular and nervous tissue also same type of question can come. 1 or 2 question will come from the animal tissue part, and from morphology part basically you will have the questions from the cockroach. But yes, from the arthworm also you can get question, right? So this will be the average points that can come in medical need examination. So first of all, let's just start with the animal tissue. So in the animal tissue, first introduction, in this video we will have only the introduction of the animal tissue. Then after that we will study the different types of tissues, where in 4 videos I will complete all the 4 types of video. This video will basically for the introduction point. Okay, so let's just start the chapter. First of all, animal tissue. First of all, we should know what is tissue. Okay, so already in the animal kingdom we know that this is actually one level of organization. From which phylum this tissue level of organization was started? It is the phylum Coelenterata, right? Right from the coelentrates the tissue organization started to appear. Now we have to know what is the definition of tissue. Tissue means a group of cell. Okay, so let's just see what is the definition. A group of cells which perform the same function, right? They will perform same function. They have similar structure also, not exactly same but similar structure. And the third one, that it is the same origin. Okay, so the definition of tissue will be a group of cell which will have same function, same origin and similar in structure. Then we can call this is a tissue, right? So what happened? What is the origin? By origin I actually mean to say that from which germinal layer it forms. Okay, so in animal kingdom we have studied what is actually the coelom. What is actually the germ layers. We have seen the germ layers: ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm, right? So this group of tissue, if we need to call that this group of cells as tissue, that means this group of cell need to originate from a typical type of germinal layer. Either it is ectoderm or mesoderm or endoderm, but yes, some exceptions are there. Okay, so first thing you have to know, this is the definition, that a group of cells which have same origin, function and structure, then that group of cells we can call that this is known as the tissue. Second point, we have to know that this tissue level of organization, the concept of tissue was first originated in one group of organism, that is Coelenterata, right? So in the group Coelenterata, phylum Coelenterata first originated the tissue. Coelenterata originated the tissues. Okay, so this point you have to know. Done. Next, you have to know what is the branch of biology that deals with the study of tissue. That branch that deals with the study of tissue is known as histology. Okay, remember that histology is the branch of biology. Okay, it is the branch of biology that deals with the study of tissue. Okay, so this point also is very much important. Remember always, that is, this branch of biology that deals with the study of tissue is histology. Next point, you have to know that if it comes to the main reason why actually the tissue originated. See, in the phylum Porifera, what we have seen, the level of organization is cellular, right? And whenever it comes to the next phylum, that is Coelenterata, what happened? Tissue level of organization is started. So basic difference, what is the difference between the cellular grade and tissue grade, right? See, if I draw here a porifera, okay, this is a porifera and this is a Coelenterata, right? So in the poriferous body also, we're going to have some loosely aggregated cells, okay? And in the coelentrates also, we are going to have some cells, okay? Both of the organisms, their body will be made up of some cells only. But in case of phylum Porifera, we will say this is the cellular grade, and in the coelentrates, we will call this as the tissue grade. Then what is the difference? That when we can call that group of cells will be only cells, and somewhere else we will call that same group of cells as tissue, isn't that? So what happens? See, in first of all, in the phylum Porifera, what we have seen, the level of organization is cell. In case of the cellular level of organization, what happened? Each and every cells have to perform all the functions like digestion, respiration, circulation. Every functions have to be performed by each and every cells. The cells actually will be not coordinated, right? Each and every cell have to perform digestion, each and every cell have to perform respiration, each and every cell have to perform the other important functions that is needed for the cell to survive. But what happened, whenever they have to perform all the functions, they are not specific to that function. That yes, that cell is performing all the functions, like they are performing digestion also, respiration also, circulation also, then they are not specific to digestion event, circulation event and even suppose respiration. Okay, so that's why actually this concept tissue comes. In this tissue, what happened? Some group of cells, okay, this group of cells will perform only one function. What is that? Suppose, just take the example, it is helping only in digestion. Okay, suppose this group of cells, they are performing only respiration. This group of cells will perform only, suppose, reproduction. Okay, then what happened? For division of labor, this concept of tissue comes, right? What happened in the first, in the porifera, we have said that they have the cellular grade Why? Because each of the cells have to perform all the functions. So that's why they're not even specific to their functions. Suppose, just take a very easy question example, that suppose if a teacher teach you all the subjects, okay, suppose zoology, botany, physics, chemistry, everything, then that teacher will be not specific to all the subjects, is it? If the teacher is teaching you only one subject, he will be very much specific to that subject. He will have more knowledge on the specific topic, isn't that? It is not possible that one individual can teach you every subject. It is not possible, right? So same thing is happening, that in case of the cellular grade of organization, each and every cells are performing every function. So that's why they are not specific, right? And the second one, in the tissue grade of organization, what happened, each and every cells, they are coordinated and perform a specific function, and this way the tissues, this group of cells, they will be coordinated also, and they become very much specific to that specific function also. Okay, so what is the reason that why tissue concept have arise? Because that organism have to be specific to that specific function, and also for the division of labor. Remember, for division of labor and specificity in function, tissue arise. Okay, this is very much important. You have to know why actually this tissue concept arise, right? So what is the first point? That they have to undergo the division of labor. Some of the tissues, they are performing some specific function, and second thing, that whenever they are performing only one function, they will be very much specific. Okay, so that's why the tissue concept appeared. Okay, so this is just the introduction point. After that, let's just see some discoveries. Okay, so let's just see some discoveries. First of all, who first coined the term tissue in respect to animal? Okay, so the animal tissue, that was coined by one scientist, that is Mary Bichat. Okay, sorry, X Xavier Bichat. Only you can simply remember Bichat. Bichat coined the term. Okay, coined the term tissue, but in animals. Okay. Next one, another scientist, that is Nehemiah Grew, and Grew coined also the term tissue, but in plant. Okay, so these two scientists you have to know, that's Bichat, Mary Francois Xavier Bichat. That scientist coined the term tissue in animal, and Nehemiah Grew coined the term tissue in plant, right? Next one, who is the father of histology? I told that histology is the branch of biology that deals with the study of tissue, right? So who is the scientist who developed that branch, histology? That is Auguste Mayer. Okay, so Auguste Mayer is the he is known as the father of histology. Okay, another scientist you have to know, that father of microscopic anatomy. Microscopic anatomy. Microscopic anatomy, the scientist is Marcello Malpighi. Okay, so Marcello Malpighi is a scientist who is known as the father of microscopic anatomy. Let's just move to the next part. Now let's just move to the next part, that is the different types of animal tissue. So if you need to see the types, then we are going to have 4 types of epithelial tissue, and along with that I will tell you also that from which germinal layer this that all the type of tissue have originated. So if it comes to the types, then we have four types of tissues. They are epithelial tissue, right? Then connective tissue, then muscular tissue and neural tissue, right? So in case of human being also, we are going to have four types of tissue: epithelial, connective, muscular and neural. If it comes to the epithelial tissue, then it is originated from all the three germinal layers. You remember that we have three germinal layers: ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. So in case of epithelial tissue, I will just write the letter only, that it is developed, originated from ectoderm, mesoderm as well as the endoderm. Okay, so it is derived from ectoderm also, mesoderm also, endoderm also, because it is found in all the regions of our body. It is present outermost regions also, in the middle part of the body, even in the last alimentary canal also. The same lining of the alimentary canal is also epithelial tissue. The lining of our body, that outermost regions, that is your skin, that is also a type of epithelial tissue. So as it is going to have diversity of location, as it is from the innermost region to the outermost region, that's why it have the all three origin, that it is derived from all the three type of germinal layers: ectoderm, endoderm as well as mesoderm. If it comes to the connective tissue, remember it is only mesodermal in origin. Even if you see in case of muscular tissue, it is also mesodermal in origin. But if it comes to the neural tissue, then it is only ectodermal in origin. But you have to remember one exception, that here in the neural tissue we have a specific type of cell that is known as microglial cell, right? And this microglial cell is mesodermal in origin. Otherwise all the other neural tissue, this is only ectodermal in origin. If you see connective and muscular tissue, then it is mesodermal in origin. If it is the epithelial tissue, then we have the three germinal layers: ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. Let's just move to the next one, that if it comes to all the type of tissue, how many types of epithelial tissue we have, connective tissue we have, muscular and neural tissue we have. Okay, so we have to see now the classification, right? Classification of all the types of tissue. That means how many type of all the type of tissues we have, right? If it comes to the epithelial tissue, then epithelial tissues are of two types. One is the simple epithelium and second one is the compound epithelium. Okay, so just a simple difference in the simple and compound, that simple epithelium will have only one lining of cell, and if it is compound or striated, then it is going to have more than one layer of cell, right? So this is the simple epithelium. If it is the connective tissue, then we are going to have three types of connective tissue, that it is the loose connective tissue, then dense connective tissue and specialized connective tissue, right? So once again, if it is the loose connective tissue, then we have two type of loose connective tissue. One is areolar and the second one is adipose tissue. If it is the dense connective tissue, then we have two type of dense connective tissue. One is irregular dense connective tissue and the second one is regular dense connective tissue. If it is regular dense connective tissue, then we have two types. One is tendon and the other one is the ligament. Okay. Next one, if it is a specialized connective tissue, then we have two type of specialized connective tissue. One is known as skeletal type of connective tissue and another is the fluid connective tissue, right? We have two type of skeletal type of connective tissue. One is known as bone, another is known as cartilage. Okay, and there are two type of fluid present. One is blood, another is the lymph. Okay, and after After that also we have further divisions, like in the bone part also we have two parts. One is compact bone, another is conciliated or spongy bone. If it is the cartilage, we have four type of cartilages, right? Like the hyaline cartilage, then fibrous cartilage. Under the fibrous cartilage we have white fiber, yellow fibrous cartilage, and then calcified cartilage. So we have to see all those things whenever we will study connective tissue. If it comes to the muscular tissue, then we have three types of muscular tissue. No more further divisions we have. First one that is known as the skeletal type of muscle. Next one is the smooth muscle. And the third one, this is the cardiac muscle. Okay, if it is a neural type of tissue, then we have two type of neural tissue. One is just the neuron, another is the glial cell or the supporting cell. Now only the neuron makes the neural tissue, and to assist the neural tissue we have one type of supporting cell called the glial cell. Reason why actually the neural tissue require the help of supporting cell, reason is that neural tissue can never divide. We are born with certain numbers of neural tissue, we are going to die with the same number of neural tissue. So in any case, if some of the tissues of the neural or nervous system dies or degenerate, then the glial cell will take the part of the neural cell or that specific degenerated neuron. Right? So these are the four different type of tissue we have seen. Now in this next video we will study all the types of tissue: epithelial, connective, muscular and neural in separate videos. In the next video we will study the epithelial tissue. So this is all about the introduction of tissues. So thank you, we have understood, I guess. So that's all about the just introduction of the tissues. Thank you.